Trevs Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, our fourth annual. This is our fourth year doing 10 bold predictions. We did it last season. And we did it the season before. And the season before that. This only makes sense, right? Why not keep doing 10 bold predictions this time for the 22-23 season? Now, these are just predictions. These are things I'd like to see happen, or things I think might happen. And if you know my track record on predicting, sometimes I'm very good, sometimes I'm right out to lunch, but let's see how I do at this. I will check back with it at the end of the season like I always do. But this one should still be entertaining nonetheless. So, let's check out my 10 bold predictions. So at number 10, I'm calling it the tank in full effect. Now this is the year where it's supposed to turn around a franchise with Connor Bedard. And I've given you my 5 picks as to who I think will be going for the first overall pick. If you want to double check my prediction videos, check this playlist. You'll find it there. It's going to be fun watching at least 5, if not more teams, either intentionally or by no means of their own, tank their way to the bottom. Now, having said all that, at number 9, and this is just what I think will happen, whichever team finishes 32nd overall doesn't walk away with the first overall pick. It's always fun to see a team just go from sheer ecstasy of the prospect of drafting first overall to dropping down a couple spots. And if we go by my predictions, number 32 will be Arizona. Now, I'm not going to predict which of the 5 teams I've picked to tank will take the first overall pick in the draft lottery, but I don't think it's going to be Arizona. Just saying. For number 8, for better or for worse, I think after this season, the future of the Coyotes will become a lot more evident. Meaning, if this doesn't work, if this 5,000 seat arena at Arizona State University doesn't work, are they finally going to realize that hockey's not working in Arizona? They have to move it. And there's a guy in Houston who'll probably take it. Now, this could be me just being presumptuous and thinking the absolute worst in this case scenario, but realistically, I'm sure this has to have at least been thought about. The what if this doesn't work? Then what? Then they got a big problem. Either way, I think this is one of those ones that's you're probably going to watch till the conclusion of it, whatever that conclusion might be. And number 7, and this is probably just the Kraken fan in me wanting to see this. One or both players, Matty Beniers or Shane Wright, with the belief that Wright will make the team, will both be nominated for the Calder Memorial Trophy. It's out there, I know, but it's not outside the realm of impossibility. And that's not to say that it can't happen. It's not to say it won't happen. I mean, you had 2 Red Wings nominated for the Calder last season. What's to say that these 2 couldn't? And I mean, who knows, right? I mean, yeah, his 10 points in 9 games last season might have only been a one-time thing, and he might just fizzle out. Beniers, that is. And Wright might take a little bit of time to develop, but again, it's not outside the realm of impossibility. It could legit happen. It'd be fun to see, though. Now, for number 6, this one might be a little bit tough to call. I put down no coaching changes during the regular season. I'm not taking into account outside influences that might impact that from happening. Because if you remember the last couple seasons, especially the 18-19 season, where it was one thing after another, and I think it was like within a week there were 4 coaches fired before the season was suspended. And lately, the coaching carousel has been like the NFL coaching carousel. A vast majority of them get fired within the last week of the regular season if they don't make the playoffs. So, with that in mind, my thought is there might not be as many during the regular season. After the regular season, though, it's probably where you see the most activity. My thought. Now, this one I'm still kind of questioning if I wanted to put this as a pick or not. But I truly think because there was 450 goal scorers and 8 100-point scorers last season, I think that number is going to drop. Not huge. If anything, it'll be 350 goal scorers and 600-point scorers. It won't be a drastic margin change, but I think with some players finding new teams, I think of the 8, 3 of them have found new homes. I think those ones won't reach the 100-point mark, but they'll definitely make a strong push. You got to remember there's how many guys that were so close to finishing 100 points last season. And they'll still be in that hunt of finishing close. But I think there'll be fewer than there was last season. Having said all that, though, is it also outside the realm of impossibility to think that there might be a 70 goal scorer this season? Now, I'm only using Matthews as an example picture, but he was, the first player since 2011 to score 60 goals in a season. Maybe does that inspire anybody else to be like, oh, well, I can beat that and push for 70? I'd love to see that kind of offense. It'd be great to see. Whether it happens or not, that's a completely separate story on itself. But if it does hit 70 this season, if one player does score 70, because I don't think it'll just be Matthews, it might be somebody else. It could be a Pasternak. It could be Draisaitl, for all we know. Could we maybe get a 70 goal scorer? Please? Now, here is going to be as bold a prediction as any. It's going to take Ovi 30 games or less to beat Gordie Howe. Now, his 780 are only 22 behind Howe. And you got to keep in mind, he's already in line to break a Gordie Howe record in the very early stages of the season if he starts off hot. All he needs is 7 more goals, and then he's beat the record for most goals by one player with one team. Howe had 786. So there's that. And it's a given that he's going to pass Gordie Howe at some point this season. So let's see it happen in 30 or less. That I'd love to see. Now, this one is just me being greedy because I love watching them. I think we're going to see more Michigans this year. Whether it's Zegras scoring another 2, because you remember he's the only guy to score 2 in the same season. Svechnikov has scored 2. You got to think with the confidence of players going up to the level where they can put on this kind of creativity and make this goal happen, it's got to happen a lot more frequently by a lot more surprising names. Here's hoping it does. And this is probably the only one that I'm hoping is right, and it's number 1 for a reason. No interruptions in the schedule. Think of the last 3 seasons we've had. We had a 3/4 season, a half season, and a season that was rescheduled a few times. I'm pretty certain the NHL, the PA, and the players alike are probably getting tired of playing only so much hockey in a season. Last year was great because we got to see a full 82-game schedule, but there's a lot of rescheduling that went on behind the scenes. I mean, I don't think them not going to the Olympics was based all on the schedule, but I imagine that had a huge influence on it outside political reasons. But we're not talking politics. I would really, really hope that this season just goes through without a hitch. I mean, yeah, the 1 or 2 that are scheduled to weather or freak accidents of electricity. You never know, right? But if everything's getting back to normal, let's see the schedule get back to normal. That would be great. So that was my 10 bold predictions. Let me know what you guys think about them. Feel free to give me 10 of your own. I mean, I've been working on this since the end of the last season. And I just finally finished it up maybe an hour ago. So let me know what you think. Give me yours. We'll go from there. It's Trev's Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're at this point. That's great for everybody. So hey, let's celebrate the good things. If you've made it this far, let me know you're here. Give me a like. That red button, if you haven't considered it by now, why not? Subscribing makes you feel good, and we're getting close to 250, so let's make that happen. Socials, they're in the description down below. So moving forward, I got one more before the regular season starts. And that's more Seattle based, so heads up. But I am writing other scripts. But either way, in the meantime, maybe the same time, you look for more videos from Trev. Later.